son, where'd you find this?
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range, shoot my shot with perfect aim, 3rd degree, that perfect flame, ain't no sleep, that's the game, oh so southern, that's the slang, when they see me, that's the main, chasing checks and fly like planes, big old stick, I bought a cane, flick my wrist and bought the ring, I'm so boss, we're not the same, paid the cost and kept the change, now I'm walking Hall of Fame, and I reside in the cloud, grand wishes, with these bitches, taking pictures with the crowd, and I'm out.
Yo, 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 yo. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Peace and blessings, great praise and
Down the
to the Most High. That's first and foremost, get that out the way. You can't go a day without acknowledging the Creator, man, for all his mercy. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate the love and support. Shout out to my poets, writers, and content creators. Of course, I'm going to get my flowers out. I got Randy in the building. I'm about to pull her up on the big screen. We got to chop it up. You see the title. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and do that right now. Let me see. Yo, yo, yo.
Oh. Can you hear me?
What's up? What's up?
Hey.
What's the word?
Oh, nothing. You know, just getting over being sick. I had something going on. I wasn't feeling very good. But I am thankfully feeling better. So happy. How are you doing?
I'm good. Over the weekend I had a little headache. I'm getting an echo for some reason. I don't know why.
Let me see.
Test. I don't hear it now.
Is that better?
Yo.
Is that better?
Hold on. Yo.
Yo.
All right, we good.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a headache over the weekend. I kind of just laid down and slept it off. I didn't really do too much, but I'm good to go. You know, started the week off pretty well. You know, shout outs to Sydney, Rob. We just brought on a new gentleman, Max. So it was a pretty good show. I'm looking forward to tonight's. Thanks for asking.
Well, tonight's an interesting one. I didn't even know these two were still having issues.
It's a mess. Their whole situation was a mess.
Hot mess express, huh?
I don't think there was one day that I'd heard one name without the other in a negative light at all. So when I seen, I'm like, yeah, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. So the clip I got doesn't really do us justice, but if you've been following any of it, you kind of already know where this is going, at least from your own perspective. Let me bring this up on a big screen real quick. For those who are not familiar, they've officially gone their separate ways. But what is not being mentioned in this clip is that she doesn't get anything. They went to court, they had their day, and yeah, it's a wrap. So
Did I lose you?
no, I'm still here. I'm still here. Let me play this clip. Do me a solid, like, share, repost. Let the people know we on. Let's get into it. Hold on a minute.
Jada is not getting a single penny from me. She was the one who filed for divorce. We've been separated for 8 years. She hasn't even come home. And now she wants to take what's mine. Not happening. Every dollar I've earned over the years, from Bad Boys, Independence Day, The Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, plus the tours, producing, and royalties, you once called all of that dirty money from patriarchy. You look down on me for making commercial films, for appealing to audiences, yet you turned around and used that same money to live in Malibu, buy your art installations, and fund your music projects. You said that since 2016, we've only been family, not husband and wife. Fine, then why should family money be split like marital property? It's clear from a legal standpoint, you're not fighting for shared assets. You're trying to buy yourself the most expensive way out of the choices you made back then. August Alsina, remember that name? You called it an entanglement, but you seem to forget that when you said it out loud on Red Table Talk, I was sitting in the next room. Jada is not getting a single penny.
Them two went through a lot, and we done had
What happened?
a dozen conversations up here. More than I can count. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Hold on a second, folks. Hold on a second.
What is it? I don't know. Look. I can't hear you. Why is this happening right now?
Yeah, I don't know. They went through a lot. I mean, we've had a dozen different conversations about this, and I really don't know where I want to begin. I think that one of the main issues here was the fact that she made it perfectly clear that she wasn't really in love with this man. He wasn't the first choice. She made that abundantly clear. Everything that surrounded Jada Pinkett Smith was always about Tupac. You couldn't get her in no room without her mentioning Tupac. Tupac this, Tupac that. On top of all of the other allegations of homosexuality coming into play, Hold on, let's see if we
All
got
right.
this.
There we go. I can hear you now. Sorry.
Just running down some of the stuff that was going on with the marriage. Her humiliating him, constantly talking about Tupac, uh, running his name in the mud, the interviews, the allegations about homosexuality. It's so much. When matter of fact, let me ask you this question: when you think about Jada and Will Smith as a couple, as a partnership, as a unit, as a whole, what comes to your mind?
Honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about them per se as a couple. I only knew them separately, really, because they didn't really seem like they were all that cohesive together. So the only thing I knew was that they had some crazy separation at one point, but in all honesty, I don't have enough knowledge on their relationship to know what took place. So enlighten me a little.
So basically, what it comes down to is people always looked at it like she used him for clout. She was never really in love with him. She married him because she really couldn't marry the guy that she actually wanted. The guy that she actually wanted was Tupac Shakur. He died. She ends up getting into a relationship with him, having kids with him, but it never felt like it was organic. They did the red carpet thing. They had their moments in the spotlight where they looked like they were okay, but that didn't last very long. Eventually, you started seeing the wear and tear. You started seeing the disconnect. You started seeing that they were never as cohesive. You ever had a friend or been in a situation where somebody was dealing with someone out of convenience and not necessarily because they actually wanted them, but they saw that, well, given the circumstances, this isn't my first choice, so I'll go this route. And I mean, they are right, but they not really what I actually want. I think this is what this was. And so you could tell as time progressed that she would eventually started to gnaw away at his self-esteem. She was showing signs of jealousy and envy towards his career. His performances were starting to get worse and worse. And then you started hearing allegations, or you started getting stories about cheating, her sleeping with August Alsina, had the man sleeping in the house with him. It like so much negativity surrounded the marriage to the point to where the kid affected drastically by it. It was just it's one of those stories where when people look at it, everybody felt sorry for Will Smith. They just felt like she was wearing the pants in the relationship. He was crying out for help. He was losing everything. He didn't know up from down. We don't know if the man was sleeping with other men or not. Like the things that were being put on his name, just egregious. And then, not to mention the infamous Will Smith Chris Rock slap that went all over social media. They at the award show, Chris Rock makes a joke about Jada. He goes, walks up on the stage, slaps the shit out of Chris Rock in front of everybody.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was the whole thing was just a mess. Just a mess.
So, at what point do you think that things really shifted? How long were they together for?
Oh man, I don't really know. It's I'm gonna look that up. It's been a few years. It's been a few years. If I had to estimate, at
I mean,
least
yeah, because their youngest child is what? Isn't he like 20 or something? 19, 18?
it gotta be 20 or something, around 20.
So, I mean, they definitely were together for a while then.
Yeah. 28 years. They were together for 28 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. That seems like an awfully long time to be with somebody out of just sheer convenience. Wouldn't you say?
Well, you got to understand too, they weren't in the same house for 28 years straight. They
Okay.
lived separately for a while up until this official divorce. So it wasn't like they were under the same roof all of this time. It was just not. I don't even think 10, 15 of them years were happy. I think most of it was just stress and just disastrous. Because, like I said, every time you've seen them on social media in any kind of conversation, people were dragging his name all across the floor, you know? So people get married to others just because there are people who don't even really know why they're getting married to them, other than, well, they got the name, they got the money. I'm gonna take advantage of this, and then I'm gonna still do what the hell I want within the marriage. And you know, so it's so many angles I could take with this, but
Well, I think that happens a lot more often than we think it does, to be honest with you. Um, you know, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. Um, they could be portraying one thing and there could be a totally different life that's being led, but oftentimes I feel like society pressures everybody into thinking that they need to be married by a certain age, or like there's this construct of like this life that you're supposed to follow in a certain order. And I feel like that brings a lot of pressure to people. And so oftentimes people don't always necessarily make the choice that maybe is right for them, but instead make the choices just because that's what society pressures them to do. And I've seen it in my generation, to be honest with you. I mean, when I was engaged, people used to ask me all the time, "When are you getting married? When are you getting married? When are you getting married?" It's like, well, it's whenever I want. Like, it's not your business. What do I need to answer to you for? You know? So I just feel like, unfortunately, we live in a society where, once again, back to several conversations that we've had before, the influences of just social media and the pressures of life and feeling like you're supposed to fit into this box of what I guess this pre-packaged sold life looks like. And they don't always make the right choices in having the right partners or even really being in love. I think convenience often has a lot to do with it. And I hate to sound so jaded saying that, but I mean, I've seen it with my eyes a lot of times. It's not something I understand, but
Hollywood and social media, it has a way of mimicking something without having all of the proper ingredients to support it. if you bake me a cake, but you don't put no eggs in it, to me, it's not a cake.
Well, that's because
If
it's
you
not.
if you give me Kool-Aid or give me tea and there's no sugar in it, I'm not drinking it. And it's like I always looked at their situation like, oh, okay, well, for the general public, it's not all of you, but a large majority of men and women, when they watch celebrities like this, y'all fantasize about the lifestyle. This is what I want to have. This is who I need on my arm. But you don't really know if this is an arranged situation, if this is a marketing tool. You don't know if they really like each other for real. All they do is be behind the scenes. They sit in their chairs. They got the makeup artists puffing their face up with all this stuff. They tell you what to dress. They give you cue cards. And then when they get in front of the camera, you see these people moving around looking all seductive, and they got this aura on them as if they are living their best life. And it never ever matches up. So I knew this situation was doomed to fail, and I said it before on a stream a year, 2 years ago. Either he gonna die from stress, or something is going to go completely wrong here, because I didn't think that he was ever gonna leave her. It always felt like she had something over him, and it just was never going to go anywhere. So to hear that he not only got the divorce, but he split from her completely and she didn't get anything, that amazed me, because the courts usually favor on the side of women, but based off of all of the cheating and all of these little things that I don't know. I just looked at that situation like it was doomed from the start.
She was the cheater.
So she cheated. She admitted to it. I believe he did too, but
So there's like a thing in California though, like, isn't there? Like, if you cheat, you're like, you don't get money. Like, there's that, like, makes everything null and void or something.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not really too familiar with the laws out there, but based off of what I read, her infidelity is what cost her everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like a big thing in California. Which is, I mean, I don't know. Then it just makes you like, was it worth it? What are you doing now? Are you with that person? Do you love them? Are they the love of your life? Like, why? I just don't really understand it. It's just not something I think I'll ever understand. Like, you're with a person for that long. Why? Just, what does it do for you?
I thought it was pointless. I thought it was stupid. You wanted to marry Tupac. You wanted a rapper. He was killed. Will Smith was your second choice. And I don't care what nobody say. Never be someone's second choice. If you're not their number one option, you're going to be the one that pay for it later on. And I think that's what happened here. Maybe Will Smith was more committed to her than she was him. She did not want to be with him in the ways that you are supposed to be with your partner. That's supposed to be your better half. She didn't value him or look at him that way. And I don't know if he understood truly what he signed up for, because we do miss the signals. We do ignore the red flags. Sometimes one person might be into the other person more than the other person is, and you see how that works. And I think that was what this was.
But I can't help but wonder, like, what do we really know about what he did? Like, how do we know it was just all her?
I don't think it was.
You know, like, I guess maybe her outrightly admitting it was like far more telling. Obviously, she told on herself, but like, what did he do? Did he do anything? I don't know. Do we know? Will we ever know?
I never worry about that. My thing is God knows. So he's the one who's going to have the final judgment in it. To
For
me,
sure.
this is just another example of when two people get together and they had no business getting together.
I
I'm not.
mean, you see it every day, though. I mean, come on, you know this. Like, this is just, this is just the nonsense that we see every day. It's just, and it's normalized. And that's the unfortunate thing about it, is it's, people don't really see anything wrong with it. They just are like, oh, whatever. Like, it is, like, it's almost like it doesn't phase people in a way that it should. And I think that, to me, is more alarming than the actual fact that it happened. Does that
I'm
make
not.
sense?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at any of it. To be honest with you, it's like I don't know why anybody would be. You went into this with your own personal intentions. That's all. It's like this. I come to you hypothetically. I'm trying to vet and all of this, but your eye and your heart is somewhere else. But you still decide to entertain me. Why would you entertain something that you're not really invested in? That's a recipe for the disaster. And the only conclusion that I can come up with is when a person entertains something that they aren't interested in, you have other motives. And it's because of those motives that's going to create the path to destruction and chaos later on. But you don't see it right then and there because you're selfish and you're only thinking about what you can get out of it. While the other person is going into this drinking milk, you ain't got no real sustenance in you. You're under you're under the assumption that you're both like this. No, you're not. You are, they aren't. And so it's going to always be one-sided. And then, it's just a slew of other little issues that's going to come along with it. I'm not surprised at nothing anymore.
Oh, neither am I. Nothing surprises me. People don't surprise me. Their actions don't surprise me. Nothing surprises me anymore. I almost expect it at this point. And I know that that sounds kind of jaded and like not that great, but you have to almost just anticipate that this is just like the normal behavior of society and people and things. Because the values and the foundational work, just the infrastructure isn't there anymore. I
agree.
mean, that's just my opinion. And unfortunately, we're raising our children and we're raising these generations to emulate all of these relationships that give a very false perception and false narrative of what love should look like or what a solid marriage or relationship should look like. Because in all reality, like, what makes these people any different than you and I, other than the fact that they have the notoriety that they do, and the money that they do, and the status? Like, at the end of the day, we're all just people. And like, if that is the goal, to emulate like their gods, these just regular human beings who really don't even have, I mean, some of them do, but I can't speak to all of them. I don't know them personally, but like it's almost like they make up their own rules of life as to what should and shouldn't be or what's acceptable and what's not. And all that does is just create a false narrative for life for our generations to come.
Yep, that's a fact. That's
And
why I never.
it's disheartening.
It is. And that's why I don't idolize and I don't worship celebrities, influencers, nobody who in the public eye is given more power than the average. I don't look at you or to you for much of anything other than the brief entertainment that I can get from you. And as time progresses, that seems to be dwindling more and more because your messages and your content is not really conducive to the way that I'm trying to live my life anymore. So, and by the way, it's okay to walk away from things that no longer serve you.
100%. I encourage it for people who feel like it doesn't serve you anymore. 100%. It takes more strength to walk away and remove yourself from something that no longer serves you or is good for your mind, your body, or your soul, for sure. And unfortunately, not enough people, I feel like, want to do that because that's the hard part.
Why do you think it's so difficult though? I mean, you're you're basically saying, look, I respect myself enough to not waste your time or my time. I think that it would be more beneficial to us to do this decent and in order. Why is that so hard?
Because I think loneliness is a real mother effer. I think that it really can do a lot of damage to a person. I think that being lonely and wanting to be loved and that desire for love can really force a person to stay in something that could be at least something versus nothing. And oftentimes people just want to be loved and or loved or at least have a human next to them to make them feel less lonely in life, you know?
Yeah.
It's a
Sad
lot more
part.
difficult. It's a lot more difficult for some people than others to sit in the loneliness and to sit with themselves.
I
Which is
watched the video.
Go
I
ahead,
watched
sorry.
I watched the video earlier, and he talked about how you give away your spiritual life force every time you step outside of the covenant that is designed for husband and wife. Every time you go out here and you give away your energy. I'm trying to be real like loose with it, but not like every time you go out here and you be sowing your oats, you give away your life energy, you give away your future because demons are taking that. Every time you do it, you got the robbery.
There's soul ties. And
Right.
I never understood that until I was older, to be honest with you. You know, I've done my fair share of things. I'm 35 years old. We've all lived a life before the one that we've lived today. And I've lived my own, but I never really realized how much it all affected me until later on in my life at this point, being able to see now looking back, like maybe that's why I struggled so much with like my self-confidence and having that like feeling good about myself, because I had given away so many pieces of myself that I didn't like what remained once those things were kind of like almost stripped away in a sense. And now I look at it very differently, being single now, and like I have no interest in dating, to be perfectly honest with you at this point, because I'm working on me. But I also don't even like have the desire or think about wanting to do that with somebody right now, because I want that to be special with hopefully my husband one day. And not to say like, oh, I'd be a hypocrite to sit here and say like I'll never do that again outside covenant, because I don't know that that's necessarily true. But like I do now see in retrospect how being not as specifically, how I didn't specifically choose more wisely, how it affected me long term. I'll put it that way.
We've all been there. You live and you learn. If you got the grace, and he wake you up and let you see another day, because time and time again, we repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again. Some people don't get to wake up from it. Some people don't get to say, hey, I think it's time for you to stop. Every time I see a celebrity, actor, or whoever, and there's controversy around it, I shake my head. I thank the Lord that I'm in the dry season that I'm in. I humble myself more, because it's like, well, look at what's out here in the market. Look at how people are moving.
Oh, I have to tell you, I am so not interested in entering the dating scene. And that's so sad to say. Like, it is sad to say, because I'm sure there's lovely people out there. Everyone is not the same. Everyone is not like the rest of the world in terms of like, it's all about lust, and it's all about gain, and it's all about what can you offer me. But I do not love it. I'm going to be honest. I do not love it.
If you like, if you was following the Will Smith and Jada story, or shit, it don't even have to be them. If you follow any of them, yeah, you wouldn't be too excited to be out here either. And I know social media is purposely showing you all the negative stuff. Happy people are not broadcasting their life up here, and frankly, I wouldn't either.
Well, because then you have people to tear it down. Then it's like on the opposite side of the spectrum. If you broadcast your happy life, then you've got all the haters who are just they're mad they don't have it, so they find something negative to somehow infiltrate your happy world. So it's just like a catch-22, it feels like.
Do you think celebrity relationships, marriages are real? Do you think any of them are real?
I don't know. I guess that's hard to say, because I don't want to be judgmental and say that it's all just like a farce, but at the same time, their divorce rate is super high. And even Kyle Richards said the other day on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, she was like, I think that if I had never done this show, and if social media wasn't what it is, me and my husband would still be together today. So unfortunately, I do think that some people do love each other genuinely and have been married for a long time. And then I think the devil creeps in with its temptations. And unfortunately, in their world, there are We have temptations, yeah, every day, but they have it in like almost like a super amplified way, I feel like.
Nigga, they can just walk right in the store and buy whatever it is on the shelf.
I mean, technically everyone can. It's just for them, they just have the weight and the power to be able to kind of utilize it in whatever way that they want to, and also keep secrets however they want to. So it's like a very different, it's just a different stratosphere of sin, I guess. Not that our sins differentiate, because that's not what I'm saying necessarily, but like they just have the ability to hide it so much better, I guess.
I think there are some successful relationships in Hollywood. Not a lot of them, and on top of that, they're not on camera. So I always said, if I don't see you, you're probably doing good, because the world don't need to know
No, the world doesn't
everything.
need to know. And people used to ask me all the time, like, why don't you post your relationship? Why don't you post your this? Why? Because it's none of your business. But on the flip side, when people don't post you at all, that also does raise a little bit of a red flag. And I see that in hindsight too now, because my intention was not the same as maybe somebody else's. But it's good to keep your private life private for sure, because at least when it comes to your relationship, you don't need to welcome everybody's opinion.
Whatever's going on or whatever happened within the household of Will and Jada, they will be equally judged for it. He won the case. I don't believe he's 1000% innocent, but I do think that the mere fact they awarded him that judgment says a lot. But I wouldn't model no type of relationship off of these people. I don't know why folks do it. You need to stop.
Because it all stems back to the same things that we talk about. It's society, it's social media, it's the emulation of this life that just seems like the grass is so much greener on the other side. But those people are hurting too. Those people are drug addicts. Those people are sex addicts. Those people are people who end up in rehabs. Those are people that don't really seem 100% fulfilled, despite the money, the fame, the notoriety, and all these things. Like, you hear so many stories. They're just people too, you know. Like, that's the reality of it. And unfortunately, I don't know. I've never subscribed to that, so I can't truly understand it, but I hope that we just continue to, myself, I can only speak for myself, that I continue to just instill in my child for his generations to come. Like, that's just stick to the core essence of who you are and the values that are inside your heart. Because you don't need to be like other people. You don't need to be like we are. We may be in this world, but we are not. We are not of it.
It's super scary when you can turn on a TV and then your entire identity is defined by what Clay Thompson or Megan Thee Stallion breakfast. And you start building your whole workout routine, your career, your future off of what Trump or whoever is doing on their IG or their whatever. You emulating them, that's dangerous, dangerously scary. Because it's like, who are you? When I talk,
Nobody. I mean, you're just anybody. You're just somebody. Just like me, just like you. And that's the reality of it. Like I don't watch the news for a reason. I don't fill my brain with a lot of things because I don't want those spirits, I don't want those thoughts, I don't want those things infiltrating my direct self and life. So there's a lot of things that I don't partake in or consume in terms of social media or politics or just there's a lot of things, honestly, because I just don't. I'm a type of person where I think what you listen to and what you watch to some degree have a very large impact in what goes on. But that's just me.
yeah, I don't think this is going to really change anything. I know a
No,
lot. I know a lot of folks are going to have their speculations and their thoughts and their opinions about their separation divorce. But I wonder if anybody else is watching it or watched it unfold like I did, and it it changed the way that they thought about certain things in certain areas in their own personal life. Because I try to take something, even if it's the teeniest thing, I try to get something out of it. Because I don't think, yeah, it's sad, it's unfortunate. They did what they did, stuff happened the way, but you could always get something out of a bad situation too. It all really just depends on how you look at it.
but it also depends if you have the eyes to look at it that way. Not everybody does. They live in like this bubble of like ignorance is bliss. So unfortunately, there's going to be a very small percentage of people, I think, that are going to actually look at this and be like, oh, how does this change my train of thought? And that's the unfortunate truth. Sorry.
You no need to apologize. That's just that's the reality. And I see it happening more and more. Before this year's, I was going to be more stories like this. People think I feel like I'm just playing the same record over and over and over. Money cannot give you what is missing internally. It can only do but so much and get you but so far. But at the end of the day, if God ain't the head of your life, everything else is just going to crumble. It's just a matter of time. And that's what happened here.
Or not, or they're okay with it and they like it and they don't care and it is what it is, and that's just that's also okay if that's what you choose in life. That's not my choice. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, the thing is like some people won't see these things as like a writing on the wall, which that is more alarming to me than anything. The fact that it has been so normalized in life than anything. And for me, it's like I just don't want to I don't want to be a part of that. And I don't want to raise a human that is going to grow up and be the next generation to normalize that. And I'm not saying that he's had some perfect example of love and relationship, because let me tell you, he has not. But he has definitely had parents that loved him, and he's definitely had an example of foundational things that are good within the construct of maybe some dysfunctional things. And I think that that's what we really need to try to do is nothing is ever going to be perfect. No one's ever going to do things the right way. But as long as we keep putting God at the forefront of our lives and of our foundational thought process in life, that's all we can do. Because without him, I don't know where I'd be, honestly.
Jada, you and Will have made some unflattering decisions within this relationship. You got children out of it, and that's a blessing. That's always a blessing.
Always a blessing.
But the toll that you put on them was unfair. The way that they grew up was unfair because of irresponsible adults who decided to pair and they didn't truly know exactly what it was that they were getting into. If you went back 28, 27 years and you knew that this was how it was going to turn out, I guarantee you, Will, you wouldn't have done this. Jada, you wouldn't have done this unless you didn't care. Just like you were only there for the financial aspect of it and you thought you were going to get a payout and it didn't work in your favor. I don't know. I 28 years is a long time to be wasted on somebody that you weren't even supposed to be with.
I mean, but sometimes you just don't even know that you're like, you know, but you don't know, but you know, but you don't know, but you have this tug of war in your heart and your mind. Like, you know how it goes. Sometimes you just stay in something longer than you should. It's just, we all do something in life that we stay in longer than we should. Now, 28 years, I'm glad that they didn't go another 28. Because what a life wasted if that's the way that it would be lived. Not even happy, not even in love, not even loving the life that you're building together. Or not, like, I don't know. I'll never understand it, but
I wish them the best. Either way.
Hopefully now they have a chance to be happy.
Yeah, and get some
Whatever
real
that
help.
looks like.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like in that world, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been down that road before, and marriage is not a joke. If you ain't ready for it, stay away from it. Trust.
That's
Like,
why a lot of people don't get married, I think, in this day and age too. It's either one side of the spectrum or the other. They either get married way too early because that's what they think they're supposed to do, or they don't get married at all because they're like, I'm not closing myself off and doing that.
improper education. Not enough examples to teach this stuff, which is fine. I got you covered. I've been down this road before. I can tell you a few things, but unfortunately,
They got to be ready to hear it.
yeah,
I'm ready to hear it because I want to do it right the next time. I'm ready. I'm ready to be a shining example next time I decide to actually do it.
Shout outs to Will and Jada. Shout outs to the people who pulled up this evening. Do you have anything that you want to say before we close out?
No, I mean, I just think that we get back to the same core message. Foundation. We got to build a foundation for the life that we want to live. And unfortunately, instead of the foundation being Jesus centered or God centered and focused, I think we let the outside influences of money and fame and fortune be the leader instead of the things that are actually nourishment to our soul. And I pray that changes for us as a race and humanity. People, just generally speaking.
Couldn't agree more. Well, look, we about to get up out of here. Shout outs to you. I'm glad you could make it. Another great show. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your thoughts. Shout outs to the people. Tomorrow, King's Table, 11 a.m., folks, for the morning rush hour. To the people who be on the treadmill or be on a job with your earbuds in, come through, tap in with us. Happy hump day if I don't get to chat with y'all, and drive safe and enjoy the rest of your week. Oh, do me a solid. Like, yeah, what you said.
I said have a great week.
Yeah. I was just, yeah. And before y'all go, do me a solid.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.
The flow insane, take my spot, so the range. Shoot my shot with perfect aim. 3rd degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so off